Capricorn, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We are finally in Gemini season. We officially transitioned at the beginning of this week. So it's good. It's bringing a lot of momentum. It's starting to kind of open up, not the floodgates, but the gates, right? An aspect where we're starting to feel a little bit more hopeful about what is on the horizon. I do feel like for now, some of that intensity that we've been navigating through, that heightened fire, water element, people popping off, lots of emotions, flying around, we're through that, right? And we're finding a little bit more grounding and stability as a result, which is definitely welcomed. Honestly, the transits in the astrology have been very nice, thankfully. We're also coming up on a new moon in Gemini in a couple days. I will work to upload a video, so definitely stay tuned. But new moons are a great time to set intention, new intentions or readjust intentions that we're not really vibing with how things are faring when we have to kind of go back to the drawing board, right? And Gemini season is all about duality. It's about seeing things from other perspectives and knowing how to kind of work within that flow. Duality is not necessarily bad. It's actually quite needed, especially right now, because we're seeing people, situations pop off in a way that we didn't expect, didn't anticipate. And so we're trying to navigate some of those murkier waters. That's why I like to start off with an energy cleansing, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles, limitations we might be coming into. It's a really good time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive, Capricorn. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings, and it totally works. Spirit wants to speak to us all the time in all different kinds of ways. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc. I also do energy healing and Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations, helping us realign, ground in self, i.e., when we're taking care of ourselves, honoring ourselves, loving ourselves, that's where we're manifesting happiness, abundance, fulfillment. We all deserve it, right? But we got to love ourselves and know ourselves in order to get there. So I would love to support in whatever way possible, always. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it, Capricorn. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama. All right, so Capricorn, I feel like you're finally moving on from someone or something. Even if you haven't physically created that distance, you're feeling like, okay, I'm ready to either bury the hatchet or I'm at peace with how things have fared, etc. Yeah, this Fatalist card came up for Scorpio, I believe. Sometimes things are just fated to happen, right? I know that's not, sometimes things are fated to happen. Sometimes we have to go through things, i.e. dealing with people that are sirens, that are charmers, that are trying to kind of lure or delude us into believing whatever they're trying to sell, And it feels like you've been through a period of time. It feels long-winded. This doesn't feel like this was just, you were dealing with someone horrible for a couple weeks. This feels like this is something, 100%, something that you had to work through. This feels like it is attached to healing, right? Healing those places within us. We're seeing this a lot in the collective, especially with Pluto going into retrograde in Aquarius. It's drawing attention to those toxic things that we allow in our lives. It's drawing attention to it. It's telling us to look at it head on and ask ourselves why we're inviting this in. Like I said, I do feel like you've gained in some level of strength this week. You're feeling good. I think it took you a minute to get here because it does look like whatever you were dealing with was lying all the time. I mean, I would say that's pretty fair. Like, pretty much everything that came out of their mouth was a manipulation tactic, right? And I think it took you a minute to, not in a bad way, it's really hard to sniff those types of people out, right? Especially if they're saying things that are kind of like pandering to our ego, or they say things that you're going to agree with, right? It's really hard to kind of see through that. But it looks like there's been some pushback. It looks like they've chosen to try to not step out of rank, but I don't remember what it's called, jump rank. I don't know. It's like they're trying to be the one in control over you, where it almost seems like you have the upper hand. Maybe you're in a position of authority. Maybe, you're the more responsible one. However this shakes out, it doesn't just have to be work, business. This can be friendship. Yeah, 100%. This is just someone who's incredibly hypocritical. And I feel like, I don't know, it looks to me like the reason that, well, number one, things are coming out of the woodwork left and right. It looks like you have maybe not 100% clear understanding of who and what this is and how they operate, but it's looking pretty clear nowadays. Like, it's almost like you can't really escape it. But there's a lot that's attached to it, unfortunately. There's a lot that's attached to it, and I feel like in some ways it does make you look bad, right? So there is this energy of trying to, I'm not saying this in a bad way, like save face is what I was going to say. Like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I don't feel like you're doing it to lie or manipulate the situation. I mean, with this person, it doesn't really matter, I would say, because it's like tit for tat. They're doing it to you, so, whatever. I mean, how petty am I, right? No, I think this is just, here's the thing. It's not so simple. It's not so cut and dry. It's not easy dealing with these types of people anyway, because you don't really know how they're gonna pop off. And it kind of looks like as you have gained in more awareness around this Capricorn, you're less certain of how they're gonna respond, right? Because I'm hearing for some of you, it keeps getting worse. Their reactions, they keep getting worse. They keep maybe even becoming a little bit more volatile. So I think there is this need to be mindful and strategic with how you move, forcing the upper hand, forcing, hey, I'm the boss or whatever, or, trying to I'm the more practical one. My decisions make sense, whatever. That rationale is not going to work with them. And I do feel like you're seeing some of the pushback this week with Four of Cups in their energy, because they are going to undermine you, is what I'm hearing. Even if they're not doing it to your face, they're actually still doing it behind your back. You're trying to give them a fair shake. Again, I think this is because I don't know, either you said something, you promised something to them, maybe now they're holding you accountable, but it feels mismatched, right? Like, I feel like what they're expecting you to do, you to follow through on, is not even remote. Like, it's almost like you could be okay saying no and leaving it at that. They don't necessarily deserve you giving that to them, is what I'm seeing. The problem is the way that they're painting it is pulling on your strings in a way. It is a manipulative energy, right? So, and they're trying to, I don't know, I don't know, maybe you do have there's a reason that you're kind of trying to give them a fair shake, trying to calm them down, I'm almost seeing. Trying to get them to see you do care about them to some capacity. But at the same time, it's getting exhausting. That's what I'm seeing. It's getting really effing exhausting. Maybe you're giving them the option to start fresh, to start new. They're making excuses. I would say, like, be really mindful of how you approach this person's situation, how much leeway, how much rope you give them, because it does look like they have some things that they need to work out in their own personal life, but it also looks like that stuff is affecting you. And you're giving them, like I said, a lot of leeway and maybe even a little too much, right? Because there are some excuses. And I don't know. I'm just concerned about why I'm concerned is because of the severity as to which this person operates. And like I said, you're having to tame them more, like that's what your job has become. I think like I said, it's becoming a little bit exhausting. You don't have time for it. You have other things that are going on. And it's stuff that maybe for you seems a little bit inconsequential, right? But you don't want it to look like you're just leaving them high and dry. So there's a lot of different factors playing into this. But also, Capricorn, as you're moving forward, it's a lot of the same. Whether it's just like they continue with the same mantra, they did this to me, so that's why I'm acting this way. There's a lot of excuses. But so much of this is like their own shadow work, their own stuff that they have to deal with independent of you. And I feel like the way it's been falling back on you as your responsibility, it's at this point where, again, it's become too much. It's become more of a burden, like you're doing it just to keep the peace. It's not goal-oriented so much as I'm constantly aware of what I'm passionate about, and I'm constantly updating the list. So this value of like, maybe what once worked before is not working so well anymore, right? Even your passion is starting to fall flat. You're really conflicted about some of this stuff and things that you're hearing, things that you're seeing. And again, it's more you being the strong one for someone else when it's a lot of their own shit, And not that I'm promoting leaving people high and dry when they're in hardship. That's not what this is about at all. But I think it's the way it's affecting you, the way that it's a disconnect, the way that maybe protecting someone's bad behavior or pandering to their ego, kind of giving them a hall pass, whatever. That's what feels like it's a little bit more on the disconnect. You are enough just as you are. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and that's true, right? Like we are enough, right? Like this is about self-acceptance. This part of you that's feeling guilty, responsible for having a certain reaction towards this situation, towards this person. I feel like it's a lot about just like not judging yourself, right? Not everything is perfect in these perfect little packages. It's not all going to play out how we want it to. And sometimes it's just making it harder for us when we hold on to something or we try to keep fixing something that is broken. Do whatever you have to do. People always want to tell you how to do it. No, do it your way. And don't ask for like, oh, how can you do it? Do it. Figure it out. This is awesome. I love that because I think it's such a great embodiment. Capricorn, like you got to listen to yourself. Neptune is in Aries right now. So it's all about like believing ourselves, trusting our instincts, and making choices to like do what resonates with us, right? So what if someone else thinks they can be better and whatever, blah, 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 right? I feel like that's a lot of the pushback that you're getting, and not necessarily true with how this person operates. But again, you don't want to be seen in a certain light. So I feel like there's a way out of it. I feel like you're moving towards that anyway. Some of this is to be determined, but at least you're seeing it a little bit clearer this week. I feel like that's definitely the silver lining. So maybe not a huge one, but I hope it helps. I hope this reading helped, Capricorn. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below. I would love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.